Hello there, people of the internet. I said I'd make a follow-up video to this, so here's the follow-up video. I'm sure that people are going to enjoy watching this simply because I went out of my way to have camera B up, and we're going to be doing some shooting from a distance, and camera B is going to be nice up and close on the target. People keep saying that they want to see more of that. But I have with me my Savage Axis 308. I spent $300 on this rifle, and unfortunately the scope is as cheap as it gets. See, the scope is not actually mine, it is my father's scope, and he spent like 16 bucks on it off Amazon, I think. It is a Barska scope. The scope that I have is attached to my AK-47, and I didn't want to take it off of that and zero it for this rifle, so I just took my father's scope, and it's going to be serving our purposes. Unfortunately, my father's extraordinarily cheap scope is not really designed to handle the recoil that 308 offers, and this lens keeps coming loose on it. So let's go ahead and tighten that back down, just like that. Yeah. Good enough for our purposes. And now I get the long, arduous task of screwing this back in. The inside of this scope is also broken. The reticule itself is pretty messed up, but I did manage to get it zeroed, so it'll serve our purposes. Now I know I'm kind of bad-mouthing this scope simply because it's, you know, super weak, flies apart, and doesn't really function all that well, and, you know, the reticule's broken. But it zeroed very, very nicely. I was actually out here probably about a month ago trying to zero this thing in, and I couldn't figure out why the hell I couldn't do it. Until finally I set myself up a cardboard target, and I shot at the cardboard target, and I noticed that my rounds were keyholing, and I had no freaking clue why my rounds were keyholing. At first I thought it might have been the rifle. Maybe I just bought like a really bad rifle. If that was the case, I was gonna like do some really freaking weird Mad Max custom bullshit to this gun. But turns out that was not the case. See, the ammunition that I was using was from a questionable source, and they didn't really know where they got it from. So I assumed it was just the ammunition that was, you know, really bad and keyholing. So I got my hands on some 7.62x51 tracer ammo, and this is, you know, actual factory produced ammunition. So this is what I decided to go ahead and try and zero this rifle in with. I stuck up another piece of cardboard to see if it keyholed. It did not, and I zeroed it in like, what, 3 or 4 shots. Even with this crappy scope that keeps coming apart. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I just retighten the lens whenever it starts getting loose. Eventually it might break, but, you know, 16 bucks, the reticule's already broken. I'm gonna get my use out of this scope. I went ahead and I threw an actual rail onto the Savage Axis. Originally I just had those Weaver mounts laying around. I threw those on, but the bolt handle didn't quite clear the scope. Well, I wanted to throw a rail on this thing just in case I ever felt like mounting like a red dot or something onto this thing. I think that would be really cool to have because it'd be really unusual. No one would ever see that on a Savage Axis. And I'm going to straight up be honest, I cannot remember where I got these scope mounts from. They're clearly heavy duty, and I mean they will work, but I can't remember for the life of me where they came from. Alright, without further ado, it's freezing out here. I got 4 rounds loaded up in this mag. I hate how the mags only hold 4, and I hate how I can't top load this Savage Axis, but is what it is. That's just what I got. My main reason, or my main concern for this gun was being able to hit shit at a distance. And I got her very well zeroed in. We're gonna step out to an actual distance and lob some lead. Alright, we're out here roughly 100 or so yards. I wish that I could head out to further distances to really test this thing out, because I know for a fact I'll be able to hit it from here. But unfortunately, the further you go out of my property, it's like, it dips down. Like up here we're on a hill, and over there it dips down significantly, and I can't see my targets from any real distance besides this right here. I mean, yeah, it sucks, but it ain't the end of the world. The hell's going on with my magazine here? There we go. I think she locked in. Yep, she's in there. Alright, let's go ahead, lob some lead. I got camera B recording down there. Fire around, see what happens. That one looked a little bit low. Let's try that again. Do I have to raise the elevation on this any? I might. Let me try shooting a little bit high. Well, that was probably a little too high. That was a little to the left. Bring her just a hair right. Try it now. I'm just gonna aim center mass. I hit the rock. I guess this thing is firing a little bit low. I hate that this mag only holds 4 rounds. I got a few more rounds in my pocket. We'll keep lobbing. Still firing a bit to the left. Bring it just a few more clicks right. Okay, here we go. That might have been a little too far right. How many more rounds do I got? I got an empty shell casing and 1 single round. I thought I had more ammo with me, but I guess not. All right. For offhand shooting and my shooting, that's not that bad. Ah, the barrel's nice and warm. I'm a little shaky because it is freezing out here in Florida right now. Ah, that's nice. I'm gonna just stand here for a second. Well, all right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I did manage to hit my target, and the misses that I had, you know, I destroyed the concrete, which was, you know, pretty fun to watch. I am going to be getting a bipod for this gun simply because they're not expensive, just, you know, one that clips directly onto the barrel. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to greatly improve my accuracy. I feel like if it wasn't freezing to death as well, hyperbole guys, I feel like I would have been more on point. Either way, I had a great time with it. If you guys want to see more stuff like this, subscribe to the channel because I do stuff like this all the time. If you like the video, do me a solid and actually like the video. YouTube's very anti-gun right now, so every like, every subscription, every share definitely helps out. Check out the description down below. You're going to find a link to Discord, social medias, my gaming channel, where I get drunk and play video games. I had a little too much whiskey last night. That probably also has something to do with my lack of accuracy, but I'll never admit that part. All right, I feel like right now is the perfect time to sit around a fire and drink some hot cocoa and strum some guitar. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. Whenever I get that bipod, man, I wish I had a more significant distance to fire from. Maybe, no, because the nearest hill is over in that field right there, and that's someone else's property, and I'm not gonna go shoot on someone else's property. I could like climb up on my barn over there, that horrifically unstable barn, and just lob some lead this way. See, we have a hill on this side of us, but I don't want to launch lead in this direction because this is a cow field, and I certainly don't want to risk hitting a cow. There's no good option, so this right here is just like the furthest distance that I can get. Maybe I'll try and come up with something. I know we have an RV over there. Maybe I'll like park it over in that direction and just climb on top of it. I don't know, that's pretty soft dirt over there though. I don't know if getting the RV stuck is worth doing some distance shooting like that. I'm just rambling on. You guys go off, have a fantastic day, and thanks for watching. Since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned.
Lance Garrett. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.